Okay,
Great.
here we go. All right. Hi, this is Steve Paul, and you've seen some of my videos recently, and you know that I'm really passionate about business and entrepreneurship and the American spirit. And I'm joined today by Keegan O'Rourke, and he's one of the partners at LuxLab, an amazing guy. And what I love about Keegan is his how he stepped out from a job that he loved and he worked at for many years to take this step into entrepreneurship. He's an amazing guy, and I really want to hear his story, not only on stepping out into the business world and entrepreneurship, but what's going on right now with the COVID-19 crisis that we have, and what moves or shifts they might be making. So, Keegan, welcome, first of all, and tell us a little bit about yourself, Lux Labs, and stepping out.
Yeah, thanks, Steve. Glad to be here. Great to spend some time with you. Yeah, so I'll start first with myself, a little bit about me. So I'm a native Coloradan, and I was working before this, as you alluded to, I was working for a nonprofit missionary organization for 11 years. And the opportunity arose. A friend of mine had started LuxLab Production House, and we were just having beers, and one conversation led to another, and kind of realized that this was a passion of mine. This is something he was passionate about. We kind of shared the same vision for storytelling, for video production, filmmaking, and marketing. And so it just one thing led to another, and then here we are. So I'm married, 4 children, 4 daughters, in fact. So I'm king of the castle, king of the castle.
Absolutely. Amazing. Amazing.
Yeah,
4 daughters. So that must have been a little bit scary, stepping out. I mean, what were you going through, thinking about, and, what was your wife thinking? What were you thinking when you made that choice?
man. Well, I was really nervous. Big decisions like this, I overthink. I analyze every angle, and obviously the providing for the family. My wife, thankfully, is able to stay home with our daughters. That's a huge blessing, but obviously that means that was coming with the responsibility of being able to step out and still provide. And
Oh, absolutely. Yeah.
really, honestly, I'll tell you this much: my wife was more on board with me moving in this direction than I was. Much
Wow.
faster. She just had a lot of peace about it. Just felt like this was the right move and this is the right fit, and we were ready to hitch our wagon, if you will, to my business partner, Nick Falls. He's just an amazing, talented creator and creative and filmmaker, and he's just an amazing work. And so she said, "I think it's time for you to go. You're ready. Your disposition, your heart is ready to move and to do something on your own like this. And I think it's time for you to go." And I said, "Yeah, but what about the safety? What about the safety? How are we going to make this work?"
So you're kind of the pragmatic one in the family. Could we say that, or?
Yeah, I think so. Yeah, absolutely. She's a little more willing to take risks, and she's kind of she's just pretty bold, and yeah, exactly. So,
Well, 2 years, almost 2.5 years into this, was it the right choice?
absolutely. Yeah, 100%. Yeah, 100%. It's been a huge blessing. It's just the greatest thing that I could have done, and I'm so happy. And in the midst of all this, there are lots of challenges. There are challenges I never saw coming, but it's absolutely the right choice. I can't imagine a better fit.
Fantastic. So tell us very quickly what it is you do for businesses, and then we want to hear about some of the challenges.
Yeah, absolutely. So we help businesses grow tangibly because by using the power of video and pairing it with strategic distribution. So we recognize that in this day and age, when you're bombarded with 4,000 different kind of commercials or advertisements, or maybe it's 40,000, it's something crazy, at least 4,000 a day. that you have to figure out a way to cut through the noise. So we use video, which is, has all the statistics show that is one of the most effective, maybe the most effective forms of marketing, the way it connects with people, the way people process it. And then we pair that by getting it in front of a growing audience, so we can actually help you grow your audience and grow with the right people. So that's what we do for businesses, so they can see actual tangible growth. They're seeing their marketing dollars put to work and bring them that return that they're looking for.
Fantastic. And a lot of times when you hear people talking about videos now, they're talking about the storytelling, tell your story. And what I'm hearing you say is that you need to tell your story to the right people, to the right audience in order to get the results. Is that right?
That's absolutely right. Yeah. We personally, as a company, have experienced the storytelling piece and made really amazing stories, things that capture the company really profoundly, just moving, funny, whatever it is. And they don't go anywhere because they didn't, the individuals, the organization we work with didn't have a real plan. And that obviously is bad for them. It also is bad for us. We want our work out there. We also want to help them grow. It's not great customer service. So that's right. We kind of recognize that it's more a matter of how do you get it in front of the right people and more of the right people.
And that's what you do.
Yeah, that's right.
Fantastic. Well, challenges. So 2.5 years into this, let's hear about one or two challenges and what that caused, how you overcame them, how you took on the challenge.
Yeah, sure. I think so. Well, let's see. Two challenges. One I'm going to point out, two challenges is this idea of regular. So in the creative world, especially in the filmmaking world, it's easy to get into project by project. It's easy to get into a mode of we're just trying to jump to the next project and one off. And so that's been a huge challenge for us, because although we've made it work and we had, paid the bills, been able to grow the company, it also is, it's tiring. It's tiring and it's nerve wracking. So one thing that we've been slowly being able to build up is partnerships with businesses, helping them actually work through and look at their marketing from a bigger level. Like, don't just make a video and then come back in 2 years or 3 years when you have more money and you're ready to make another video. Let's actually see how we can implement stuff for you and do it on an ongoing basis. Or we can run these advertising campaigns for you on an ongoing basis. So that's helped us a lot to have those partnerships where we're providing a lot of value for our clients and being able to do it in a sustainable, ongoing way. So that's one huge challenge that we're slowly overcoming. Obviously, this COVID-19 has put a little kink in that, but that was one challenge. I think the other challenge is just more internally. Like, there's things that I didn't know about my business partners, that how could I have known how they work before jumping in? I'd known them a long time, especially my business partner, Nick. I'd known him a long time, but there are things when you don't work and run a company together, you don't know.
Yeah. Okay.
So
such as.
Well, he just operates in a different mindset sometimes. So I'm on the business side of the house, right? He's a creative, so he's got lots of awesome ideas, and I'm trying to sell the business and pay the bills also. So I'm kind of actually business development, and I'm back house operations, and so sometimes like I have to rein him in. Like, hey, this is what the client's paid for. We don't have the budget for that to do these crazy ideas you have for this video. That would be great, but now I have to go talk to the client either about like, hey, do you want to add to your budget, or, so there are little things like that of just the way we look at finances, the way we look at projects, and so I'm playing a little bit of a producer role in the company, even though I'm not a producer by trade, but a producer kind of looks at the whole project and manages the budget, manages the talent, all that kind of stuff. Whereas the director has the great, big, fancy ideas, and then the producer reins them in. So
it's funny, you have all these expectations, and then you discover some of your differences, and oh wow, we have to learn to work together on this. And yet at the same time, I'm sure you found it true that those differences are, and help create that balance that makes a business successful. Does that sound accurate to you?
Oh, that's absolutely right. Yeah, and the more I am able to look at those, dive into them, have real conversations with my teammates. We have 4 full-time staff members, and the more we're able to look at that, to your point, from a perspective of, let me just understand this person, and then be able to tap into their gifts, because their gifts are different than my gifts. And that's not a bad thing. That's actually a good thing if we utilize our gifts and our strengths to the right way.
Absolutely. That team building aspect of, working with each other's gifts and strengths is so important. Now, a little bit earlier, you brought up COVID-19, and I think that is so important that we talk about that right now. How's it affected you? How's it affecting, your clients, your prospective clients, your employees? I mean, you're a small company, and yet I'm sure you're seeing some profound effects.
Yeah, absolutely. So I'm going to start from our client's perspective. What we're seeing there, we've primarily and traditionally worked with a lot of nonprofits, helping them grow, helping them share. We love working with mission-driven organizations, helping them actually kind of get out of to be able to move forward and with excellent marketing. But one of the challenges here is, as the economy tightens up a little bit, people tighten up their wallets. Maybe they're not donating as much as they were, or they're hesitant, and people are seeing a real effect. So some of these nonprofits are, kind of putting the brakes on projects or not moving forward on things they were going to. So, that we see the real challenge there for our clients, and how do they continue to help, because their mission. In some cases, I think all of their missions is so important right now. It's actually maybe more important than ever. But you're also tapping into a pool where there's a lot of fear. A lot of people are hesitant, nervous, anxious. So how do you help bring those gifts that they have in their missions, in their organizations, and help share with their, the donors, the people that they're reaching out to, that are actually helping. So it's been a real eye-opening experience, and so that's caused them to kind of pull back on projects that we were working on. That's caused them to hold off on projects we were going to work on. And I feel for them. So with some of them, we're working through those challenges together. We're trying to help provide value, and kind of what can we do that would be most valuable for you right now. And that means shifting some of their business a little bit, if you will. Kind of.
So how does that work? Shifting some of their business. I mean, this is, it's got to be scary. I mean, there's so many unknowns.
Yeah.
Possibly some donors have pulled out. There's a lot going on here.
Yeah.
And at the same time, I'm hearing you say that, okay, how do we help them? And yet we still have to get paid something.
Yeah.
There's a lot. And, you said you have 4 people on staff, 4 employees. Is that right?
Yeah. That's right.
So it's a lot. What are 1 or 2 specific ways that you are helping someone shift, or helping get both of you through this?
Yeah, sure. So one way, I'll give you 2 examples that we're currently working on. One of our clients, we've kind of shifted the work that we're doing with them, not completely, but we're helping them grow their advertising and grow their organization, kind of reach more. They help women, and so we're helping them reach more women. So one of the ways we're shifting a little bit is they also sell books that they have book studies, like group book studies, and we're helping them move into a mode of how can we advertise so you can help. Women are sitting at home and they're needing resources. How can we actually shift into a mode where you're able to reach more women with the great resources you have? Instead of kind of trickling them in, or kind of lead, they are also doing online, Zoom call book studies, and they're encouraging women to do that. But also just reaching out to women hey, here we have some great resources. Check these out. We're offering them at a discount. So we're going to help them do some advertising for that, and kind of get that in front of women, and I think it's a great time right now. Honestly, there's an opportunity, a unique opportunity. It's a scary opportunity, but because of the times, but there's a unique opportunity because digital advertising, ad spend dollars are going further right now than they ever have been, or they have been in
Huh.
the past, because people are pulling their money away from advertising. So it's a unique opportunity. If you have some money to spend on advertising, the dollars are going to go a little further. So
Hmm. I mean, that's really interesting. And something else that's, part of the heart of this is how that American entrepreneurial spirit, you shift, you find ways to find opportunities, in this distress.
yeah,
And I think that is, you brought up that example of more women are home right now, and with that particular nonprofit, and they could be buying the books, and they could be doing some group studies together. That's an amazing story, I'm sure.
yeah.
Do you have any other specific examples?
Yeah. So one client that we're working with, and this is actually multiple clients. So we work with a lot of schools, and one of the things we're going to do for them is help them create virtual video tours. So because right now enrollment has big challenges for the next school year for these private schools because they don't have any way to bring students in to showcase their school and actually do a physical tour. But they also, there are challenges. People are anxious. Parents are trying to homeschool or like do virtual learning, and it's a big challenge. And so they're nervous about, their heads are not even around wrapping around like, oh yeah, we need to finish the enrollment paperwork. They don't
Uh,
even know what's going to happen after 3 months.
oh,
Is it
wow.
worth it? Will we have a job? Do we want to invest in private school? So that's one of the things we're helping them with is, hey, let's if you can't bring the families to the school, let's take the school to the families. Showcase your school and help them. Remind them why your school is a great choice for them for next year, and that we'll get through this, and the school will still be there.
Wow, that is so awesome. One of the, a common thread that I'm seeing here is that you are also, in a way, serving as a comforter, possibly even a counselor, in the sense that you're helping,
Hmm.
you know, take them through this, and you having that positive, you know attitude about, well, let's go ahead and let's find these opportunities, let's help people through this. You literally are, you know uh, making it easier, easing the pain. That's what I'm seeing here.
Yeah,
That's what I'm
yeah,
feeling.
yeah. Thanks, Steve. Yeah, I think so. I think it's from an internal perspective too. As a team, we kind of have had we hit so within a less than a week, we had almost 50% of our business just go away like that.
Wow.
Maybe even it was like one day actually.
How did that
Everyone's
feel? How did that feel?
It was gut wrenching. It was scary. It was like a very sobering, I should say. So we all pulled together as a team and kind of said, what are we going to do? What are we going to do about this? We don't want the business to go under. Uh, and so how can we had to start thinking of what we feel like uniquely positioned to help people. Right now, people are using video more than they ever have been in the history of the world. And we're not Zoom. We don't run Zoom. We don't even do live streaming necessarily. We can help people with live streaming, but that's not our bread and butter. But that doesn't mean that people can't communicate. In fact, using video to communicate. So we're recognizing that we're actually uniquely qualified to help, and trying to shift our business to figure out how a way to position and message that so we can, walk people through like, what could you do right now? How can you use digital resources to continue to communicate within your community, to your clients, prospective clients, things like that. So I think like I said, it's because personally we had this dramatic impact. We and kind of the fruits of what we're trying to do shift in our own way. We're trying to help people see that also. Let's not give up. This is not a time to give up. as easy as it feels like. I've had sleepless nights since that day, Steve. Sleepless nights. So this is not all, it's not all roses or whatever, butterflies. It's
Right.
not, but how can we work through this? What can we do? Let's not give up. Like, let's not throw our hands in there and call it quits.
Well, I think this is where leadership really comes into play, and what your foundation is built on, as a person, your faith, the challenges you've gone through. And that's where, your leadership um, comes through, not only for your team, but for your customers. And that is so cool. Good friend of mine, Jeff Eichler, and his partner, Kirsten Rickert, they have a podcast called Getting Unstuck,
Hmm.
Shifting for Impact. And they work with a lot of schools. And he wanted to make sure that I asked that particular question having to do with how are you shifting in terms of helping people. And I believe that some of the answers you've given us on how you are helping people get through this are exactly answering his question.
Hmm.
Um, and I think I'm very, very inspired by what you are doing. And
Hmm.
at the same time, I feel some of the pain of challenges I've had in the past in leading our companies and our group of people. So right now, I'd like to just hear your thoughts on just a couple thoughts on what people in general, people that are worried, people that are afraid, um, entrepreneurs, just what advice you have and for them right now. And then I'd like to hear a little bit about how people could, reach you if they need your services.
Hmm. Great. Thanks, Steve. Yeah. I mean, I've been reflecting on this quite a bit. Is one day at a time. That doesn't mean that we don't make a plan. We don't, we got to look at the realities of things. But one day at a time is much more manageable, right?
Uh-huh.
Literally, I mean, in the Jesus says in the scripture, that today's anxieties are enough for themselves. Don't worry about tomorrow. Just worry about today. And I've been reflecting on that a lot. Like, how do I get through today? What can I do today? And then tomorrow will come and there'll be a new thing. I can't predict tomorrow. I can't predict the future. I can't predict how long this will last. I can't predict how bad our economy will get, but I can try and work today and I can try and work with the people around me and our clients today and see what we can do. So that's one thing. And I think the other piece is having the hope that at some point this is going to end. I think so. So two thoughts on that. This will end. So what are we going to do when this does end? And how are we going to prepare for it? And what is those shifts that we should make right now? Because I don't think we're going back to business as usual when this comes out. I think it's going to be different, vastly different, but how can we prepare for that? So that's what we're trying to do. That's what we're hoping to help our clients do is like, let's, one thing that this has helped us, and kind of want to wrap this up, but one thing this has helped us is realizing it's actually forcing us to move in a few directions that we've wanted to move for a while as a company. But, it's easy to kind of go with the flow and get in your comfort zone. And it's easy to kind of keep doing business the way you always have. And for us, it's saying, hey, we've got to make a shift in clientele. We've got to make a shift in some of our offerings that we're doing. And we've got to do it fast because now there's no other better time. That we don't have everything that we had is falling by the wayside. So what can we do? So yeah, I just think looking out, like, what are the changes to make in the future? Because this will end and we'll be in a different place. But at the same time, trying to stick one day to day.
Boy, that is just really, really good advice. And I'm it's so impressive, the American spirit, the faith, we need more and more young leaders like you and what you're doing. That is so fantastic.
Oh,
And
thanks,
and
Steve.
I'm just so proud and honored to have you here with me talking about this. So Keegan, please do take just a minute to tell people how to get in touch with you if they want to hear some of your ideas about shifting their business or maybe getting their videos telling their story to the right audience, to the right people that'll get them results.
Yeah, absolutely. So To get in touch with us, you can always just reach out to me personally, email, phone. WeAreLuxLab.com is our website. So that's an easy way to schedule a meeting or get in touch. My name, Keegan, at WeAreLuxLab.com is my email. So that's really easy. Keegan, Keegan, at WeAreLuxLab.com. Love to talk to anyone. I love to talk to anyone who's even just wants to bounce ideas. You know, we want to be here for people. We know that it's the community, the people around us that have helped kind of continue to encourage us and inspire us. So if we can be that, if nothing else, you know, if that's all we can be is a sounding board, talk through these ideas, share some hope and encouragement. I'd love to do that. So that's one thing I think right now, you know, just being not afraid to get on social media, not afraid to kind of ask people to help share what you're doing. And, you know, don't be afraid to dive in a little bit. If you're not doing this right now, dive in a little bit and do, you know, kind of see if you have a budget for some paid advertising. It's challenging, but try and see what you can put to. I think it's easy to like pull all efforts away from marketing and feel guilty about it. But I've heard this countless times with numerous business leaders. If we stop running any business, real business, the economy will stop immediately.
Yeah.
Like
yeah.
people still need what you have, and we can't stop running business.
Right. It's, you know, it's really, there's so many emotions, you know, first of all, I mean, our hearts and our prayers go out to everyone that's suffering from this, especially if you're sick, and our healthcare workers and the people that are keeping the supply chain. And that's so true, because I talk to a lot of business people just on a day-to-day business, doing business, and I see them, everybody out there pushing hard, trying to work through this. But I just want to say, our Keegan, thank you for sharing this with us. This is so amazing what you're doing, and I know you're making a difference. And this is what we're all about here in America, is making a difference for each other. And I just want to, everybody that's watched this conversation here, I just want to say thank you for your time. God bless you, and we're going to get through this. Cheers to the American entrepreneurial spirit. Peace and goodwill.
Thanks, Steve.